Let's get it. Since I've been reviewing the Sister Wives series, I gotta tell you, one thing has been true throughout the series, or at least my reviews of these episodes. From season 16, season 17, and then starting over from season 1 to season 6. One thing is consistent. Kody is a cold customer. This guy is ridiculous when it comes to his wives. He is not tuned in, tapped in. He's not trying to figure out anybody's feelings. He doesn't give a damn what they think, how they feel. This guy just does whatever's in his best interest always. It is the most abhorrent thing I've seen in a long time. Now, in season 6, there's an episode called A Wife Decides. And what this episode is about is Meri, who has been pining since the beginning of Sister Wives, since the first episode, about how she wanted to have many, many children. And unfortunately, she had only been blessed with one child. And in her imagination, in her vision, she wanted to have 9, 10 children in the house that were just fluttering about. And it was going to be so amazing. And it got to a point by season 4 and 5, when they were moving out from Utah and moved out to Vegas, and she rented a home, that she felt bad about the size of the home, and some of the other wives were coming at her about the size of the house that she had and how it wasn't fair because she wanted to have more children and it was her hope and her dream to have more children. It just wasn't in the cards for her. And then when they bought the big houses in the cul-de-sac, how she wanted to fill those houses up with children and it wasn't fair that she couldn't have more children. And as an answer to that, Robyn had made the offer that she would surrogate a child for Kody and Meri and carry it so that she could make Meri's dreams come true. Now, when this offer was made, it struck me because I'm coming from the retrospective view, and I already kind of know what happened as far as the makeup of the family is concerned. And one of the things that struck me was maybe Robyn was offering this because, you know, she was trying to be nice to Meri because she knew later she was going to have a big ask for Meri. And she wanted to have the money in the bank so that way when she tried to make this big, huge withdrawal, which was basically asking Meri to divorce Kody so she could marry him, that she would have some goodwill saved up. And then it also occurred to me that when the family had moved from Utah, they had already moved Robyn down, 5 hours away, her and her 3 children, down to Utah so that they could all spend time with her. So they were renting her a house around the corner from their house in Utah. Then when they moved to Vegas, they rent her another house. Now, during the whole season, or at least all the series that I'm aware of, Robyn has never had a job. So she wasn't giving any positive income and she wasn't really contributing to the family. In fact, early on, Robyn had said she was struggling to try to find value for her to the family, and she wanted them to see her as valuable, as a valuable member, and as not just to suck on the resources of the family. And that would be a way for her to find that clever medium, for her to offer her services to Meri as a surrogate, so that way she's adding value to the family and it justifies her being around. And especially right after she has a baby and they're sitting in Las Vegas trying to figure out how they're going to do their money, and this chick turns up pregnant. So yeah, so you have to try to come up with a way that you can establish your value to the family. And that was, I think, her way of doing that. Now, when it came time for Meri to make the decision, Meri did something which kind of steps out of the box for the Brown family. She was actually trying to be financially responsible. At least that's what the story said. She said, I want to make sure that we actually get the houses that we want, that we're actually a little more financially stable once we get the homes, and then I'll make a decision as to whether I want to have a child. Now, I'm not excusing the fact of the reality that Meri at the time was dealing with a child who was a senior in high school, and they were about to graduate. So Meri was going to be an empty nester. And the big question is, it wasn't just whether she wants to have another child, but the bigger question is, do you want to start all over again? So do you want to do the late night feedings, the waking up in the middle of the night, no sleep when you have a child that's in college? As your oldest child is staying up all night because they're in college, you're staying up all night because the baby don't want to go to sleep. And that's a little bit of a life change. On the other side, Meri, because of the polygamous nature of their relationship, Meri was in a unique position where Okay, fine, she couldn't have additional children, and Kody and her were limited to one child. But because Kody had several other wives, one wife with 6 kids, the other wife with 6 kids, a new wife with a new baby, and 3 additional children, so 4 kids total, she was in an environment where she was watching all these mothers, wives to her husband, have these family experiences and raise kids together, and she couldn't participate in that, and she was on the outside. So a clever solution to that would be for her to have another baby. So there was pressure on that side too. Now, in light of all this, after Kody had pressured her for an answer, pressured her, Robyn is making this offer, and what do you decide to do? It'd be great if you did it. Why don't you take her up on it? They go out for the final decision after they move into the homes in Vegas. They go out for a picnic, or at least that's what Kody told her. He takes her out to a place called Red Bluff or whatever, and it's basically a place with rockscapes where you could climb up, go hiking up rocks or whatever. Now keep in mind, they live in a cul-de-sac. It's not like, Kody had to drive 5 hours to go pick Meri up, and then he met her somewhere, and then, oh, you got on the wrong footwear, chick. We're about to go hiking. That's not what happened. He picked her up from her house. Notice what she was wearing, got her into the car, loaded her up, drove to the place. They get there, and then all of a sudden he says, oh, Meri, you're wearing the wrong footwear, girl. What you gonna do? We going hiking up the side of this mountain. Now, Meri had on a pair of clogs, which is basically outdoor slippers. Like she's wearing slipper shoes, trying to climb up rock faces. This is a great way for you not to have a good time, but a great way for you to lose a wife. And it's completely ridiculous that this guy insisted upon hiking up this mountain and pulling her up the mountain and telling her to take a run and jump and then try to hop up a rock face and all that. It was completely ridiculous. What was even more ridiculous was earlier in that season, on the second episode, Kody had already taken Robyn out there, so he knew what the surface looked like, he knew what the ground was like, he knew what the terrain was like. And he told Robyn to wear a pair of sneakers. As you can see in this picture, she's wearing sneakers on her feet. Now this is Robyn Brown. This woman has never been filmed wearing anything but at least 3-inch heels. I don't think there's maybe a handful of times that she wasn't in heels, some kind of heeled shoe, but she stays in heels. They get up to the picnic site, and at that time, Meri starts asking questions, and she's asking leading questions, hoping, I guess, that Kody would say, yeah, Meri, I'm excited about having a child. I want to have another child with you. And she's asking those type of questions because Meri, quiet as kept, wants to have another baby, and she wants to take Robyn up on her offer. Kody says flatly that he doesn't want to have another baby. Now here's the cool part. It's not that Kody doesn't want to have another baby. He just doesn't want to have another baby with Meri. Because as we all know, he had another baby, Ariel, with Robyn. Now, speaking of Ariel, here's the curious part. This is season 6, mid-season 6. They're up there doing this discussion on whether they're going to use Robyn as a surrogate. By season 7, Robyn was pregnant with Ariel. And I think she had her in season 8. So the question for me is, how sincere was Robyn's offer to carry this baby for Meri? Was this just something she was saying to try to fit into the family and then realizing that she didn't necessarily have to do it? Did she go back and talk to Kody about, I made this offer and I've changed my mind. I don't want to do it, but I don't want to break Meri's heart. Because let's not forget, the entire time that Robyn has been a part of this family, she has consistently kept secret after secret, lie after lie to different family members. There was a secret with the dress. There was a secret as far as them kissing. There was a secret with regard to the caramel competition. There's always these secrets that are floating around Robyn and her trying to sneakily go off and do something with one of the members of the family. So it's not outside the scope or realization that she would go to Kody and say, this is something I don't want to do, but I don't want to hurt Meri's feelings. Maybe you can let her down and you take the responsibility so that way we can maintain a friendship. Kody, of course, will go along with it. There's also the conspiratorial point that maybe this is, like I said earlier, this is something that Robyn had put into place because she realized that she wanted to get Meri to be beholden to her. And it's an easy way for her to do it. You make this big offer, I will carry a child for you. Doesn't work out that you could carry the child, but you made the offer. And you never rescinded the offer. Robyn never rescinded the offer. Kody did. And then in a season, 2 seasons, right after she has Ariel, she starts talking to Meri about divorcing Kody because, you know, she has all these problems with her husband who she's been separated from at this point. I think, what, three years already? 2-3 years? She had already been separated from her husband, and maybe she has to go back and forth, or they have to do the whole thing with taking the kids back and forth to the husband. But he would have a right to see him, and what would be wrong with him seeing him? So she doesn't want to deal with that anymore, and she wants Kody to adopt the kids, and she wants to be married to Kody. So she just cashed in. She hit the jackpot. Now, those are my thoughts on this particular issue. Again, I think that the way Kody handled it was completely inappropriate. I think that he could have handled it better. He could have took care of his wives better. There is also a point where we can look at polygamy and say that because he had the nature of the relationship that he had with these women, it didn't matter to him that Meri couldn't have more kids because that was something that she had to burden alone. And he could look to his other wives for relief or for respite and not have to deal with this individual woman's problems. That's one of the problems or drawbacks with dealing with this polygamous nature. Let me know what you guys think down below. And this is a non-canon review. Like, I can't prove it either way. I don't know what their personal private situations are. I'm not exactly sure what the timelines are, but these are my observations and my thought. As again, this was my take. This is James. This is My Take on Reality, and I'm out. 'Cause I've been living life right like I